As we often emphasize, the psychological resilience of soldiers during war is of vital importance, and if this resilience is weakened, disaster may be inevitable for an army, especially in the armies where communication and military belonging are lacking. This situation is more common, and the Russian-Ukrainian war has dramatically demonstrated this reality through events that the Russian armed forces are having. So the loss of psychological resilience and loyalty of the Russian soldiers to the army created an environment in which various remarkable events took place. The crises in the Russian army are unrelenting, and the successive successes of the Ukrainian armed forces on the front line are both wearing down the Russian armed forces and military and preparing the ground for internal dissolution. While the problems and troubles among the Russian military units are increasing, it is observed that the Russian soldiers' power to withstand with the current situation is decreasing as well. In recent days, it has been reported that a group of Russian soldiers mutinied, and this situation indicates that the conflicts and dissatisfaction within the Russian army are deepening. So, what are the latest developments on this issue? So, let's take a look together. As the Pioneer team, we continue to prepare our report on Russia-Ukraine war for you, so don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so as not to miss our daily reports. You can also support me and my hardworking team by using the super thanks button below the videos. Thank you for your support, and let's start if you are ready, as the Pioneer is reporting. As the fierce war between Russia and Ukraine continues, remarkable events continue to unfold on the front line. The superiority of the Ukrainian armed forces over the Russian armed forces has caused serious trauma to the Russian soldiers. It seems that the trauma may require a long time to heal. However, the attitude of the Russian armed forces command towards this trauma is also remarkable. They're not taking any steps to address the difficulties on the front line that the Russian soldiers need. This attitude causes the Russian soldiers to become even more exhausted. As it is known, strong and illogical attacks of the Russian armed forces, known as the meat attack, are taking place at many points, and during these attacks, Russian troops attack the positions of the Ukrainian armed forces in large groups and without any fire support. However, this method of the attack is highly unlikely to succeed, and this is because the units of the armed forces of Ukraine effectively destroy the incoming Russian troops by providing intense fire support from the opposite position. In recent days, it has been reported that the Russian armed forces have once again launched an offensive in the vicinity of Donetsk. This attack, especially in the direction of Semenivka, increased the tension in the region. According to the information obtained from regional sources, fighters of Russia's 98th Rifle Regiment launched a meat attack in Semenivka in the Donetsk Oblast. However, this attack was met with a counterattack by the Ukrainian army, and the bulk of the units of the Russian armed forces in Semenivka were neutralized by the artillery and machine gun fire of the Ukrainian army. According to reports, Russian troops suffered heavy losses during the counter-positions firing. Following these losses, the 98th Rifle Regiment hoped that they would be given an opportunity to recover, but their expectations were frustrated. When the Russian war leadership ordered an attack on the remaining Russian troops, the soldiers were surprised. According to the information from sources in the region, the remaining units of the 98th Rifle Regiment were ordered to attack Orliivka. The regiment did not have the strength for a large and truly large, better to say, offensive, and its hands were tied. The Russian command had already started the process of executing Russian soldiers by making scandalous decisions in similar situations, and the Russian soldiers therefore had two options: to face the Ukrainian soldiers unarmed and fight a battle they could not win, or to disobey the order of the Russian war leadership. In such a difficult situation, anxiety and confusion prevailed among the members of the 98th Rifle Regiment, and they knew that their own forces were insufficient for an attack on Orliivka, but they also knew that the Russian command had previously taken drastic measures in similar situations and had punished disobedience to orders with the serious consequences. Nevertheless, a few brave souls among the soldiers began to question the orders of the Russian combat leadership and had to debate whether it made sense to carry out such an insane attacks. Some argued that Ukraine's defensive positions were strong and that hostile offensives would end in failure. Others found it difficult to understand such risky decisions of the command and considered opposing the orders. So the Russian soldiers asserted that they had no hesitation and courage to fight. However, according to this own account, although they were ready to bravely confront the Ukrainian armed forces, they refused to do so due to the lack of support and high casualties. They were not concerned with the courage, but with the realities of the strategic and operational conditions. This refusal would go on to become the indicator of the major mutiny. According to reports, Russian soldiers posted a video they recorded on social media to announce their mutiny. In the video, they explained the background and reasons for the mutiny, stating that they stood against the Russian war leadership. Through this video, the Russian soldiers emphasized that they stood by their decisions and took a courageous step to make their voices heard by the public. The following statements were used in the video. "Enough is enough. We are no one's slaves or toys. We're finished. We're exhausted. You still say attack us, but with which weapon? With which bullet? When you sent us to Semeniivka, we asked you for artillery support and you did not provide it. We asked for machine gun support. We asked for air support, but you didn't provide it. We lost many of our friends because you didn't provide anything. Now you're ordering us to advance towards Orliivka? We don't have the power to do that. We asked you for weapons and you didn't send them. We asked you to send us some rations so that we could at least eat, but you didn't send us either. From now on, none of your demands are valid for us. We will not be a part of this incompetence." So as can be seen, the anger of the Russian soldiers towards the Russian war leadership is very great and serious. It seems that the Russian war leadership has once again repeated the mistakes it has made many times before, and we've already touched on this issue in our previous reports. The attitude of the Russian war leadership seems to be based on a general disregard for the problems. There is also the issue of sending Russian troops to the front line unarmed, despite all the difficulties. In recent days, Russian soldiers are reportedly suffering from this situation. It is not yet clearly known what Russian soldiers did after the mutiny. However, according to some sources, after the mutiny, Russian soldiers fled the region after publishing a video, and it is claimed that they may have taken refuge in the Ukrainian armed forces. However, there is no definite information on this issue yet, and the fact that there are reports that the Russian army is conducting researches in the places where the Russian soldiers were last seen, so it seems to confirm this claim. So what do you think? How do you assess the defense situation of the Ukrainian armed forces at the moment? Can the defense of the Ukrainian armed forces resist the Russian aggression any longer? Do you think that the Russian soldiers may have taken refuge in the Ukrainian army? Let me know in the comments, because I read and I care about all of your comments.